Titans of war. That's how tankers are called by their peers from other military specialities. Soldiers of the 30th Independent Mechanized Brigade, Konstantin Ostrowski, say that despite the formidability of their vehicles, they are like a family in the tanks unit.
We are tankers. We live like a family, like ants. We are few in the organizational structure, but we perform many tasks, mobilize quickly and get the job done. And we live in a tight circle. We are a family.
The Defender, with the call sign Wolf, meaning wolf, is credited with dozens of combat missions. The serviceman recalls that his unit was ready to meet the enemy even before February 24, 2022. The soldiers realized that a Russian invasion was inevitable. The first clashes, the tanker recalls, happened where the Russians carried out the most massive attacks. This is the Luhansk region.
Everything started very quickly and very strongly. If you were driving a tank or standing somewhere in the positions, there were flashes or shells, artillery, airplanes and helicopters flying from all the sides, from the left and from the right. It felt like it was the sweep. There was fighting everywhere.
During active combat operations, first and foremost the servicemen think about are local residents who have not evacuated and have become hostages in the epicenter of hostilities. This makes it impossible to conduct a full-fledged battle to liberate Ukrainian territories. There have been enough such stories for a year and a half of the full-scale Russian war, tankers say.
I was firing the enemy from the tank and decided to change my firing position. We drove into a vegetable garden that belonged to some old man and knocked down his fence and greenhouse. At that time, when the battle was going on, our units were storming. We were covering them. The man ran out and shouted that we had demolished his greenhouse. But that's the way it happened. We had to do it, because there was only one road, and I had to get through. And unfortunately, I could only do it through the vegetable gardens.
Mastering the operation of multi-tone armored combat vehicle is not difficult, tankers say. Everyone can try their hand at this speciality. The guys debunk the myth that only soldiers of short stature are suitable for the tank speciality.
Everyone can become a tanker, even a full-figured man. I've got a man who's 190 centimeters in my unit.
So physical qualities do not matter. What about the psychological ones?
Psychological qualities have to be like everywhere else, like for infantry or artillerymen. The only thing is, if you talk to infantry, they say that they wouldn't go in a tank because it's the first target, and many are afraid to burn up inside it. And the tanker says, I wouldn't want to be an infantryman to run in the fields. The tanker will say, I'm cavalryman. I have my own horse, I can take it and go.
It often happens that tankers are forced to get as close as possible to enemy positions during battles while covering infantry. Therefore, their crews become the #1 target on the battlefield.
Tanks are the main target for everyone, for us, for them. If they see a tank, especially now when they have a Lancets, they are angry at tanks and throw everything they can at us. Artillery, mortars, everything to destroy a tank.
Tankers of the 30th Independent Mechanized Brigade are currently serving at the Bakhmut bridgehead. They say despite the difficulties they encounter during combat operations, they have something to wish their fellow soldiers on the professional holiday. What would you wish your fellow soldiers at the professional day?
Victories and track strength.
What do you mean by track strengths?
Tankers know.
Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Alyona Gramova, Yevhen Karmazin, UATV News.